There we go. So yeah, so just to have this road to diamond and have the tasks, but allocate some points to it. And part of the reason why I wanted to do that was because a lot of the times what we can do is we can have like a list of KPIs and we can go, oh, we're not doing them all every day. But, you know, we're doing a good half of them. But actually, whilst the half that you're doing are going to be important, they may not be the key income producing. So it could well be that you're doing like 10 of the tasks. Sorry. Oh, here's one of my diamonds, bless her. So yeah, so it could well be that you are doing like, I don't know, 7 of the 20 tasks, for example, but those 7 are actually kind of low points, if that makes sense. So the key things like follow-ups, which are obviously hugely important, you might be skipping those and having a little tick list and having things that say, you know, messaging people about the business, and we've got various different ways that you can obviously do that, or you know, following up, or versus doing something like wishing people happy birthday. Together they're all really important, but if you're not doing the things that are the big point ones, which are the follow-ups, which are the reaching out, you know, looking to get the host of posts up, then you're limiting yourself. And I think this is a nice way to go, do you know what, and you can actually see it for yourself and say, do you know what, actually, just by allocating some more time to follow-ups versus wishing someone happy birthday, is going to make a huge difference to your business. And I guess part of the reason why I pulled this together is because we all have moments, you know, we all have, businesses are roller coasters, and when you've been in it over 8 years like myself, I guess I found that I was actually probably doing a lot of the low pointers, if that makes sense, because I've been through a little bit of but basically I am perimenopausal, but I was, they were treating me for depression for 3 years, and it obviously didn't work because that isn't what, you know, it wasn't a chemical imbalance in my brain. So I've been through quite a rough time personally. And so I was managing to still keep some consistency to my business, but I knew now I'm on the right keel. So I've got my medication. I knew that I'd got to up the ante with those big points where, you know, they're the ones where, you know, they're going to bring the distributors and the customers and, you know, the trials and all that kind of stuff in. So happy birthdays, first of all. So it's top of the list just because it's a really easy thing to do. It is a case of, it is going to give you loads of visibility. I use it to unfriend as well. So it's quite, if somebody's like, you've been ignoring me for 2 years, no matter what I've said to them, and they've never showed any interest in any of the products or the business, then I know that I can pretty much let that person be unfriended, because what we're obviously aiming for is to be hitting, you know, that maximum limit of 5,000 friends. So happy birthdays is a really nice way of reconnecting with people. So a lot of the time what happens is those people will, you might have spoken to them about a product and it reminds them, or because you've been in their inbox, if they've replied and said thank you, they start to see your things, so the algorithm works in your favor. And it's a nice thing to do as well. I think it's just a nice thing to do. But so, and it's something that I can do as I've, like, when I first wake up in the morning and, you know, you're feeling a little bit like, oh, you know, might just have a little scroll. Doing your happy birthdays then is just like an easy way to get yourself started and help with the visibility. Then we've got obviously posting about your story on your Facebook. So, and this post will transfer from Facebook to Instagram. once you've wrote out your story, that then transfers, you know, if you wanted to do a TikTok about it, if you wanted to do a reel about it. It's really, obviously there's the, well, Jenna will know because she's in Claire Flores' team. There's the Claire Flores How to Write a Story, which I can share in the other group because I literally have got it saved on boards because I send it out to people all the time. But having a few of those wrote. So another thing just to bear in mind is that this task list here is probably going to need some preparation with regards to getting your posts ready, getting your TikToks ready, getting your reels ready, having your idea as to, you know, what kind of people you want to connect with, you know, the hashtags that you're going to be following. You know, it's obviously your 5 pillars. So who are you? So there's going to be that kind of work going on in the background. But then once you've done that and you've got your lists and you've got that, then that's going to make all of this a lot quicker. So yeah, so posting your story, it's a big 50 points because that is what people relate to. You know, it's showing those little bits of vulnerability, and it's, you know, why you wanted to get involved. So that's a really, really like key one. Then I've put, obviously, like put a TikTok on because I do like to get a TikTok on first thing in the morning. Then you're now going through kind of my day. So I then, I've done the school run, and then I will come back and probably make my coffee on an Instagram live. So, sorry, what's that again? So yeah, so I'll come back and I'll make my coffee on an Instagram live. Now, if I can keep that to like 2 or 3 minutes, I can then use an app called Cut Story. And by using that app, I can then have it so it's that live is cut down into 15-second segments. So I can then use that live in my story on Instagram. And obviously on the thing, I've mentioned that your Instagram is linked to your Facebook. So that's obviously, you know, you're covering both Instagram and Facebook there. And by doing that and having that video in your story, your lives, you know, I say I'm making my coffee, but I'm not always saying what the coffee is or what it does, or it's always kind of there in the background, and people will often might look for it. They just see me regularly using it. But I'll talk about all different things. I'll talk about what's happening in the day. Maybe I've seen something on the news, you know, so people can get to know you as well. It's again, it's that, you know, that personality in your story and people getting to see, you know, you. So then I've put about the product in the story. So a lot of times what they recommend on the KPIs is for that to be like a little boomerang of you making like the coffee. And again, works quite nicely if I've just been making a coffee on a video and then you put like a boomerang on saying this product has this benefits, it's joining the dots for them without feeling like every time you're talking on a video, you know, you're throwing up on them about, you know, that particular product. So then now, so once obviously you've got all that up, you've got a poll up, because a poll is going to ensure that you've got people to talk to all the time, people that are viewing your story, people that are answering your poll. It's, you know, the viewing the story actually is interesting, because again, that was something that I hadn't been doing as much of recently. I was messaging lots of people, and I started to do that, and people was unsurprisingly coming back and saying, yeah, can you tell me about that actually? So I think sometimes you can feel like you've got a lot of the same people that might be watching or viewing your story. So sometimes you might have a little break from that, so that, you know, whilst you're following new people and freshening up your feed and, you know, who's going to be seeing stuff. But definitely keep that in mind, because it is a really, really good one, especially if you're just starting out, because obviously, you know, lots of people haven't necessarily, you've not spoken to them already. So then you've got everything up, So then go and follow 100 people. So the reason I do it in that way is because you've got this beautiful feed now with, you've gone live. You can save the live onto Instagram TV with just a couple of clicks. So people can either watch the live or they can go into your stories. The lives obviously like that's on your Instagram TV all the time. So it's like saved for you. But those people, when you're clicking follow, when they go to your account, first of all, they're going to see a video of you chatting. So it's not going to feel like overly salesy, but they're going to know kind of what you're about, but they're going to know that you're doing it in a way that is a quality way of talking about it. So then once you've followed 100 people, then going in and obviously liking and commenting on the last 25 people that you followed, because then you're kind of, you're not just an empty follow, you're going on, you're making a connection with them. And if they haven't looked at your profile already, then the chances are they're going to after you've liked and commented on a post. So then we've got send 20 messages on recruitment. And sorry, I do feel like I'm whizzing through this. Normally we do it like as a power hour, but I guess the first time it's quite nice to just go over what each task is. So the send 20 messages on IG for recruitment. Now, I do this all different kinds of ways, and Lockie, my team, does it a completely different way to me, and is a top recruiter. So she literally, it's not one size fits all. The key thing, and this is what it comes down to with, Jade Hooper always says this, is doesn't necessarily matter what you are messaging. When you message someone, you are encouraging them to look at your profile. So if your profile is saying this, this is available and this is available and you can earn, then you're welcoming them into that kind of sphere. So I can be very direct. So I will literally send messages. And at the moment, I'm messaging people completely random that I just think look really nice and that I'd like to work with on Instagram, saying, I love your feed. I think you'd be really good at what I do. Is that something you've ever thought of? Now, it's really quite nice and open because they're going to have to, they've probably got to go and have a look at you, haven't they? Because you've not told them what you do. So again, it's drawing people in to look at your profile. It's quite a friendly, non-threatening way of approaching people. But there's all different ways to do that. And we can probably go over those in the future. We'll get Lockie probably one day to take her through. She's got a very, very different style to me, and both work. So it's good to hear from both sides. So then hashtag commenting. Once again, we're going on to a hashtag with people that are going to be able to relate to us. So for example, you've got, oh, sorry, you've just said you're so glad to hear that UK can actually get to triple. Yeah, there was about 3 or 4 of us that did it all within like a very similar time frame. So yeah, absolutely. Don't get me wrong, it's been tougher with the pandemic, but we're coming out the other side of it, so things are going to start to really pick up. And following these basics now will 100%. This is the key to it. It really is. So yeah, so the hashtag commenting. So for example, as I've just shared, I'm perimenopausal, so I will literally go to that hashtag, and there's the Davina one, so Davina menopause, because she was on the TV talking about it. It's a really hot subject at the moment, so I will go on to there, and I know then by commenting and liking on those things that when people look at my profile, they're going to be able to relate to me. I also like mum of boys, because that's what I am. But there's so many different avenues that you can go down with hashtags. What TV programs do you like? I used to love going on things like Bravo. So I love the housewives, like of Beverly Hills and all that kind of stuff. So I went, you know, sometimes I'll mix it up. So what I would recommend is having like 10 hashtags. And it sounds like a lot, but what you'll find is if you're struggling, if you've got one area that you think, do you know what, that feels like me. So for example, say like, you know, Bravo or Mum of Boys, then when I click on that hashtag, other people will be using other hashtags. So you can have a little look through the other hashtags that they're using, and it can inspire you to think of other ones that you might be like, oh yeah, actually, I don't know, it could be like parenting, or it could be like bad mums is one that I love as well, you know, mums that are like a little bit crazy and that kind of thing. But you will, by looking at the hashtags that those people are using, it will give you ideas, and then you can kind of just keep following on, and you know, you'll refine it. Sometimes you'll change it, sometimes you'll be like, do you know what, actually this is the kind of direction I feel like I'm in at the moment with my life. And obviously that changes, but it's nice because it means you're always going to have that freshness of who you're talking to. And then I've spoke about messaging the people who've viewed the story, follow-ups on IG. This one's a huge one for me, because I'm really good at reaching out to people, but I'm so bad at following up on IG. So I just have to literally like force myself to sit down and go through my messenger and literally make sure that everybody, like, when I message people that have followed me, and I messaged quite a lengthy message, like telling them a little bit about myself, and I asked them to tell me about them. So I think sometimes I find the follow-ups is quite time consuming because people are sharing their life. Like, you know, I share a bit about me, they share a bit about them. So you want to think about what you're actually replying with there. Right. So what we got next? Then we've got HAP requests. So on Instagram, I'm loving host to post on Instagram. It's where I'm doing the majority of my host to posts at the moment. So I've kind of had a little break from it from Facebook because I was just finding that I was putting posts up, people were saying yes, they were going to do it, and it was becoming really time consuming, and hardly anybody was actually putting the posts up for me. So sometimes, like I say, your business goes in cycles, and so I've had a natural little break from that. But going on to Instagram and doing that, so anybody that I've messaged previously about anything, because then I know that I can send quite a lot of messages. I'm not going to get blocked because we're already talking to each other. I'm asking them if they'll do me a little favor, and getting a really good response to that. So what I do is I make little pictures up, little stories. So for example, I've got like a brand ambassador story, I've got a coffee story, I've got a hair vitamin story, and it basically says that you need to obviously, that they tag me in it, but I've got all my details on it, but it's nice and bright and quite clear. So they put that in their story, and then obviously people can see you, they can click on the link to get to you. And I've had some good stuff from that. In fact, one lady who I've not spoken to previously about the purifying infusion, she said yes, that she'd do the post for me. I send a mix of I send 4 slides over so they can pick. So they might think, you know, some people are like, oh, I don't really want to put a weight loss post on. So they don't have to, they can put the hair, you know, the hair vitamins up. But yeah, there was a tea one, and she came back and she ended up having a trial of the tea. So again, it's that whole thing of messaging and opening up conversations and letting people know what you do. So then now moving back to Facebook. So requesting like 25 new friends a day. So, you know, we are in network marketing, and our network is our net worth. So it's constantly adding new friends. And sometimes you might be like, well, how am I going to find those people to add? If you've just started, then, or even if you haven't just started, you might not have done this yet, but go to school friends, old work colleagues, and anybody that you might have known for a really long time, and go to their go into their list, go to suggested friends, and you can often add a couple of hundred people just from that you actually know really quite well. And then as you're then building up your numbers, then you will have people either locally or in different areas that you've got a lot of mutual friends with. So then you can start to get a little bit braver. A nice way to add friends is to add a few beauticians or hairdressers, lash technicians in an area. So say, for example, you've got a city close to you and you think it'd be really nice to like start to build there. If you start to add those kind of people who are going to accept your request quite easily, once you've got 5 or 6 of those, you can then start to put friend requests through, and you've got 5 or 6 mutual friends with people. So that then builds really easily, and people assume that they're going to know you because you've now got 20 mutual friends with with them. But actually, it's just that's how you're building your network. So that's a really nice way to go about doing that. Now, once you've added those new friends, then it's about going on and liking and commenting on their posts. So again, it's about it's about reaching out to those people, showing them that, starting to like and comment on their things. And when you do that and you put thoughtful comments, so try and use 4 words or more. So I know sometimes it's hard and sometimes you can't manage it, but if you can manage to put 4 words or more, then they are more likely to reply to you. Now, Facebook then again sees you've got a relationship with this person. They see you chatting on a post. So algorithm wise, that's going to improve the likelihood of them seeing your things in the future. So then you've done that. Say, for example, you might be struggling because none of them have posted anything for quite a while. There's also, if you go into it's hard to describe actually, on your Facebook, if you go into the 3 lines, then there's a whole list of things like groups and like most recent news and things like that, and your memories. There's a section called most recent, and that is all of the most recent posts that your friends have done on Facebook. So by going to that, you often start to like and comment on people's posts that you might not ordinarily be seeing. So you kind of, again, you're tricking the algorithm into these are people that are going to see your things. Then we've got, share a before and after on Facebook. So the key with this is obviously to talk about the products and to talk about these pictures in a thoughtful way. If you can relate it to you in any way, brilliant. Even if I'm putting like a wrap post on that isn't my wrap post, I can still talk about my experience with the wrap. So you just want people to not see it as like a sales post. This is about, and I don't know if any of you were on the David Van der Veen call, and he's, this lovely lady said, I am the solution. And that is literally, that is the absolute key. So if somebody is thinking about, I need weight loss or I need to earn extra, then you want to be in their head as the solution. And that happens from stories. She said really bluntly, don't talk about the ingredients and don't talk about this and don't talk about that. It is about a lot of the time about how you think that person's feeling. I guess this person is just feeling so much more confident, because that's what we're doing. It's that value that adds with the product. So sharing the before and afters, really crucial. Just make sure you're doing it in like a thoughtful and a nicely authentic way that people can relate to. Then we've got message new friends. So all of those new friends who've now accepted your friend request, I go into Messenger and I will just send them a little message saying thank you for connecting with me. And that gets received really well as well. So it's just a nice way of you just saying hello without actually, you know, a lot of people will be like, come to my group, do this, do that. And we don't want to be those people. We're about building relationships and connecting with people. Then we've got message everyone who's viewed our Facebook story. Oh, I've got 10 minutes. And so yeah, so that's it's exactly the same as the Instagram story. It's just on Facebook. Follow-ups on Facebook. So if you're just starting out, you might not have a huge amount of people to be following up with yet. But if you are messaging and getting that viewing your story, if you're getting the host to post out, that will come. And those amount of people that you're going to be following up with are going to increase. And if you're not doing those follow-ups, then just building relationships with people, you know, going in and maybe speaking to people who you've not spoken to for a while, that you've been chatting to in your Messenger. Searching. So that's what I was going to say. So for example, what I tend to do is, so if somebody's buying a trial from me, then they can either bank transfer or they can PayPal. So you can actually search by a word. So if you're wanting to maybe follow up with a load of Thermophyte people, you might just have put a really good before and after photo on of what they do. You can go into your Messenger and you can search for a word that you would send in a message about the Thermophyte, and it will bring up then all of the people that you've messaged about it. It's a really, really clever little way to do follow-ups on that one is. And then obviously I've put a Reels post on. It's further on in the list than the TikTok, because I find that Reels posts are about 6 o'clock. That's when on Instagram people are most likely to be on. And that's with my personal, you know, I look at my little insights. And then I've got hat requests on Facebook. So it could well be that you're part of a giveaway where you can do a post saying, you know, talking about whether they want to get involved. So you can message all those people. If you've just started, get in touch with your friends, you know, and just put a message out saying, would you be able to help me with my new business? And then I've got Facebook Live and TikTok Live. So Facebook Lives are brilliant, obviously, again, they're getting you out there. If you put a TikTok on and then go live afterwards, it's apparently, again, that's really, really good for your algorithm. So that's it. Whistle Stop Tour. And I do apologise because I felt like it was going to be a power hour, but it feels like we've just gone through it. But I think we can then, so I can literally, this has been recorded, so we can share this, people can watch it, and then next Thursday we will able to just go, right, happy birthdays, let's do them, and everybody knows what they're doing. Does that seem okay? Did I answer how you hap on Instagram? Let me just, sorry, 1 second. Let's unmute. How do I do that now? Oh God, how do I get everybody? Click on it again. Oh, how do I do that? I can't work it out. I can ask you all to unmute. Oh, hold on a minute. Oh no, I can't actually unmute you. All I can do is ask you. Lockie, do you want to just quickly share how you message out with your recruitment? Because I do think it's a lovely way.
Yes. So I know you and I differ, but both methods work. So
Yeah.
it's just really what suits the individual, really. So I personally will get to know them and really just not even talk about work for the first few conversations that we have. And it sounds really awful when I talk about, like, I'm not grooming them, but I am, but I'm just relaxing them into the conversation. So that when I do go in with, do you know what? I actually really like your energy. I really like what you have to say on your page. Have you ever thought about doing something that I do? You know, would you be open to the idea of hearing more about it? And I think because I've had those pre-conversations with them, they don't I don't know, it's just not a horrible shock for them. They're actually cool with it. So that is how I personally do it. But I know other people do it very differently and achieve great success. But me personally, it's how I like to work.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm impatient.
Oh, well, I'm that too.
Really? Yeah, I'm just impatient. So I don't mind having those nice little conversations, and I'm having those with the people. And I know that I will get there. But I just think for my energy, I think I need people saying, yes, tell me more about this, because that lifts my energy, because I'm like, look at this, all these people want to know about it. It's so exciting. And I think that energy, then it's all law of attraction, isn't it? So I then put that energy out, and then I get people that then come to me and say, tell me about it.
Yes.
So I think I literally do it to get that energy. And a lot of people do join from those messages. A lot of people do join because, you know, it's not like they join within the like first, I mean, I have had some quick ones. But, you know, a lot of the time it's introducing it and then they're like, oh yeah, tell me about it. And then we have and tell me a bit more about you, you know, kind of thing. So I do it both ways, I guess.
I think naturally, if you're, I think the point is, if you're introducing yourself to new people every single day,
Yeah.
You know, and actually finding common ground with them, you know, actually you will just find yourself being able to slot into conversation, because actually, if you really like them as a really nice person, as a really nice friend, you will want them to be on your team. Like, and so at some stage, you will ask them, you know, if it's appropriate, if you feel that they have the right criteria, or you know, you think they're a little, you know, diamond in the rough or whatever.
Yeah, well, you'll just naturally want to share what's worked for you, won't you?
Exactly.
From a business perspective, and product obviously as well, but yeah,
yes.
Love it. Thank you. Did you have any other questions, guys? We've literally got 2 minutes. Nope. Oh, that's
I've
good.
just got one. Just can I just have I missed the part. Sorry, my children were trying to interrupt. Where you said you were looking at friends on Facebook who may not come up in your feed very often. Yes. How do you reactivate them? I missed that bit.
Do you mean, so when I go into the most recent?
Yes, probably that.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's so when you go to the place where you can see your memories,
yes,
something called most recent. In fact, they've changed what it was called because I struggled to find it, so I must find out what it's called. Okay. But I click on that, you get a lot of like pages, sponsored ads in there. Yeah. And a lot of posts to groups as well, which is a bit annoying, but sometimes they can be quite nice to like and comment on, because actually you're in those groups because you've got things in common with people. So it's a really nice way of actually interacting with people. It's a great way to make new friends doing that, actually. Yes. Through the groups. But yeah, and it's just then obviously you're kind of forcing it to that cool. Algorithm.
Thank you.
That's okay.
Thank you.
It's going to switch off any second. So we will end it, but I will share the recording, and thank you. And if you've got any questions, just ask away. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mel.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.